All right, hello, Ricky. Taking a look now at your assignment from week 7, the project, and it looks like you've written yours in APA, and your title page here looks great. So let's see how you do here. This looks good. It should have been centered, but that's obviously a minor thing, so it looks good. It would have also been nice for this of all to have been double spaced, but no big deal. All right, let's see. In today's fast-paced world, being celebrating and taking time for self. Single fathers in particular offer good. So that's telling me what your proposedly that's telling me what your who your audience is. So that's good. And you're referring to today's fast-paced world, hence at the historical and cultural context. Very good. Um, okay, it looks like you're still writing. It looks like you still did part 1 with I probably mentioned my video evaluation of your part 1 um, that you were writing too much to the rubric, and it looks to me like you've still done that even in this one. You didn't actually change it, so that one's going to suffer a little bit because of that, but maybe not as much. We'll see. Let me take a look. So you do have the purpose mentioned here. Uh, I can't really fault you for having the purpose there and everything. It's just the style, the writing itself is not really done according to the exemplar, which is the most important thing. Um, in her article, Nicole Pelusi addresses this modern stress culture by highlighting the importance of small town. Okay, so thesis statement's not too bad. Your topics in there, your genre is in there. Like I say, you've kind of put them in there very obviously, rather than weaving them in there the way the exemplar shows you to do it. But um, I guess it's better for it to be in there than not at all. So um, now your core idea here, you talk about the purpose. You provide a quote. Don't forget that you always want to have. In most cases, when you're doing papers like this, just for future reference, you always want to have a page or paragraph number in there as well in the parenthetical. So it would be Pelusi, 2019, and then P period 3 if it's a page number, or PARA period and the number if it's paragraph number. I don't know. Here you seem to be talking a little bit about maybe a negative about the article, and that's good because that is expected. Um, yeah, good job with that. Okay, now here you do touch. You go back to specifying the cultural context and historical context, and then you summarize at the end. Okay, so you don't really have I guess the core idea is there, sort of, just not directly, not as easily noticeable, unless I missed it. Um, I think the core idea is probably there in the thesis statement anyway, so that's okay. Your problem with part 1, the biggest problem with part 1 is you don't really have any details. So you got a couple details, but you don't really have any sources to back them up except for this one quote, which just isn't enough evidence to really even count. So those two things will be what hurts you a bit the most, and just in part 1. Now let's see how you do with part 2. Second audience is helpers, such as counselors, social workers, volunteers. Okay. Okay, so that's good. You talked about the new audience and introduced them. Stress is not only an individual concern, but also affects those who support others' experiences. Good. Helpers working with single fathers often encounter clients who are overwhelmed and unsure how to prioritize self-care and take a break and compulsively frames stress as universal. It's universal and encouraged to reach possible. Okay, so you touched on the audience. Yeah, you talk about the audience needs there pretty good, I think. You go back to addressing the exemplar, though it looks like here, or not the exemplar, but the rubric here, which again is not really quite what was looked for, especially in part two. Part two, definitely. I mean, they both should have been more of essays rather than what you have here. Essentially, is kind of like and I may have stated this in my other video about week 5. But a lot of what you have here looks like you just basically answered the information up here in the rubric and then put those answers into paragraphs, right? That's kind of what it reads like. And rather than a proper essay, it just reads like a list of answers put into paragraph form. So, um, you've got the writing situation there covered to some degree, but not as good as it should be. Um, Your writing style, not quite what it should be for this part. Um, Writing conventions are okay. And your references page does not look like it has as much there as it should have. But, so clear communication could be a little clearer if those things have been done correctly. Citations and attributions are fair. So you ended up with a B. So that's not bad for the things that I had to mark there. So not bad. You ended up with a B. And if you have questions or anything, just let me know. But that will do it for this video.